You just have to see the photos that I took for this video.
Julep, pop, 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 julep, pop, 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 julep, pop, 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 pop.
So, have you ever had it where you see a photo and you think to yourself, wow, this is a pretty nice photo. It's easy to replicate a photo like this. And then you go out to take that said photo and you just freeze up. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to think. You don't know where to stand.
Well, not to worry, because today I'm going to share with you 5 ways how we can instantly up our photo and video game. Starting with the first one, which is slightly obvious yet very important: location.
You want your location to kind of like evoke an emotion. You want your audience member to feel mesmerized. You also want a location that can bring some variety to the work that you want to produce at that location. It's always this one shot that you have in mind until you get to an actual location. You see what the location has to offer in different ways. Anything that can have a nice and clean look to something that can have a nice and rough look. It all depends on what my story wants.
Now that we've got location smacked out of the bag, let's move over to the most important one: lighting, and in particular lighting of the location. You got to see what lighting the location brings to you. Need this be a natural light or artificial light? Anything that can just sharpen your image a little bit more, create more contrast, more depth. So one of the first things that I do when I get to a location is I determine where is my point of natural light. Where's the light coming from? What is the direction of the light? What is the intensity of the light? Is it harsh light? Is it golden hour? It all depends on what your story and what your shot wants. Once you learn how to manipulate that light, then you're taking your stuff to the next level. But I'll still do a separate video on that. Now that we've got location and lighting knocked out of the park, let's go over to step 3, which is your subject. What do you want your photo to say? That's one of the first questions you need to ask yourself. And then you kind of need to direct your subject towards that vision, towards what you want your audience member to feel, what you want the viewer to feel. What do you want to feel? Kind of focusing on what you want your subject to say. It's really going to help you to stand out as a photographer when you just really put intent behind something. Even when it's documentary, you still have to kind of find intent with the subject. The 4th step is something a little bit more on art directional side, but it's got to do with the color scheme and what affects the color scheme, from the wardrobe to the location to the lighting. All of those things also tie into the color scheme. Try and see what the location can bring to your subject, how the wardrobe of your subject can complement the location, where they can just speak to one another. So see where your colors and your textures can match. That already just creates a more pleasing image for a viewer. And ask yourself the question, will some of the colors create contrast? Will it flatten the image out? Will it make my subject blend into my location? Or will it just completely make my subject stand out? These are the type of things you need to ask yourself. Okay, so we've nailed down location. We know what we want to do with lighting. We have a subject. We know what the color scheme is. Now comes, how are we going to frame all of that into one shot or one image? And that opens up to step 5, which is framing and composition. How is your framing interacting with your location? How are you using the rule of thirds to make your subject interact within the location? How are you using the framing to tell the story? Do you want to feel a sense of vast openness within the location, or do you want to experience the intimacy that some locations hold? It's all got to do with what you want to say with your image at the end of the day. Okay, so I can almost guarantee that there are 1,000 ways on how we can shoot better photo and video. These are just a couple of building blocks for you to go and explore. And hopefully this will help you to think differently about how you want to construct a photo or video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out this video. And if you want to get some clients, check out this video. Thank you so much. Appreciate the time.